Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekhar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As part of the Achievers, we featured some of the finest, highly accomplished people from around the world. The gentleman whose name is synonymous with art and culture around the world, he has put Indian music on a worldwide map, none other than the world famous Amjad Ali Khan. Khan Saab, what an honor to have you in the program.
Thank you so much.
We also have the pleasure of having Amaan and Ayaan, the illustrious sons, like father, like sons, who's followed the footstep of this outstanding gentleman. We are honored to have you both in the studio with us as well.
Thank you.
You know, we've had the honor of having you, sir, in the past, a few years ago.
Yes.
And when you appeared on the air, we received incredible feedback from the community, a lot of warmth, a lot of love to be conveyed to you and your family. And we are very honored to have you back here.
Thank you so much. I'm very fortunate that I received so much love from my countrymen. And right from my childhood, I traveled every corner of India. And I received so much blessings, and every Indian nurtured me and blessed me. And today, I'm, because of the blessings of the Indians and all over the world, Indian people living, it is all their love and blessings.
That's wonderful. Sir, you've received every top award that a country can give. You've been bestowed the Padma Shri, then of course the coveted Padma Vibhushan, and of course the highest civilian honor that anybody can ever receive in India, none other than the Padma Vibhushan. There's hardly any other award left in India. But in addition to that, you've received awards from around the world, all over the world. In the last few years, you've been very active in the international scene, especially you've received honorary citizenship recognition from various countries. You've performed in outstanding venues around the world, including the Carnegie Hall, the Royal Albert Hall, the Kennedy Center, and the list goes on and on. Tell us about this international outreach.
It was a great moment when NRIs of America invited us in Carnegie Hall while celebrating 50 years of independence of India. All three of us, Amaan was around 18 at that time, and they were very young. and I was most touched when I was received with the standing ovation in Carnegie Hall. So it's all, all the awards, all the recognition, they are so, it makes me feel so happy and humble that, because we believe in blessings and we feel connected with every soul in our family. My wife is Subulakshmi. We feel connected with every religion, every soul, every song of the world. And in our family, we feel we have a common God all over the world, and we are the common race.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So Amaan and Ayaan, tell me, I've asked you this the previous time you came. I would now like to think that you're much more experienced. You look the same, but but your worldly experience has increased because your performances and in your own standing, you've done exceptionally well as well. You both have shined so well, and it's a pride for your parents in terms of what you've accomplished. Tell me, when your father is on a pedestal, okay, what kind of pressure does that put on you as a teenager when you were growing up?
So with us, we were very fortunate, and we are still very fortunate that we are always around our father. God gives us that opportunity and the time that we can be around him, learn more, and try to educate ourselves. People generally ask me this question that, what about the shadow which is on top of you, and it's difficult to be a son of such a great father. And I always say that the shadow is actually very helpful, because on a sunny day, the shadow makes us rest very well, where we can learn our music in a better format.
Beautifully said.
And the shadow helps you to grow.
Wonderful.
More. And if I had to take a very lame example about the struggle, even a aircraft that takes off from a runway has to take off against the wind. Otherwise, it can't take off. So anything in life, I guess, till it's not a struggle, there's no fun.
That's wonderful.
So if you take the way you take it, I take it in a very positive way. And I don't believe, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if I will ever be like my father, which I doubt, or make it bigger. I don't know. But my main concern is that Ayaan and I should never be the reason of embarrassment for him.
That's wonderful.
That's the main concern.
That's absolutely wonderful. Ayaan, if you had 3 qualities of your father that you would like to emulate, what would those 3 qualities be?
I mean, it's difficult to boil it down just to 3. There's so many qualities, but I think what the main training or the main mantra has been was always about everything together. It was more about music being a way of life. It was more about the subtlety of the field, the kind of dynamics about giving respect to elders in the field. So that was the main mantra, where technical brilliance was not the utmost form of music. I mean, for my father, I think what mattered to him more was to give respect to your guru, to give respect to senior artists, and there are a lot of things in the field which are a part of the field, where you kind of take permission from a senior artist if he's sitting in the hall before you start. All these things. So for my father, technical brilliance was important perhaps, but it was not on top priority. He felt that if you do things the right way, good music will follow. If you are a good human being, if you are down to earth, good music follows. So I think if I think of 3 traits, it would be his humility, which is unreal, his musicality, which is truly completely genius, and thirdly, I think his attention and importance he gave to family. I think there were years when he'd never accepted very long tours, just because he wanted to be with my brother and me, because he wanted to teach us. And so these things, I think, and many more. But since you said 3, I mean, these are the 3 main things I think that I hope I'm able to kind of incorporate in my life as well.
That's wonderful. What a performance when the 3 of you are performing together. It's absolutely outstanding.
Thank you.
Sir, I understand you put India on the map through your performance. To the best of my knowledge, you were the first visible minority or first Indians to perform in Wigmore Hall in London, England. Tell us about this achievement.
They were only concentrating on European music, and they never thought of involving Asians and Indians. So, and the first time when they invited me to perform, they refused to give me PA system also, because they believe in natural sound, and because the violin and cello, they play without the amplification. So that was the beginning of the new relationship. So I accepted whatever. I didn't make a noise about it, but I played. It was quite strenuous for me to play without a PA system, but after the concert there was a standing ovation. They were very kind, the listeners, and 99% they were all European audience. But then finally I requested the director, young fellow. I said, I'm grateful that you like my music, but you are missing a very important sound of my instrument, vibrations of my sympathetic strings that can't be heard without the amplification. Then later on, when we all played there, they gave us PA system also. So I admire, you see, the European way of looking at things, and I always admired their symphony orchestras. And from my young days, I used to listen to Beethoven, Bach, Mozart. And then finally, one day, the Scottish Chamber Orchestra, they invited me to compose something for their orchestra.
Wonderful.
So I made a piece for 1 hour, and or maybe 45 minutes, and I called it Samagam. And I went to Edinburgh, and then I met the musicians. And they were brilliant musicians, and finally we recorded that in a church. And the CD is produced by World Village Record.
Wow.
World Village. And now all of us are involved. We are collaborating with symphony orchestras. The National Orchestra of France, they wanted to play Samagam. Recently, the Britten Symphonia came and they wanted to play. So this collaboration, I'm not using the word fusion, but the collaboration by keeping the originality of Indian music and European music. So we are enjoying this orchestration and collaboration. While you were talking to Amaan and Ayaan, I felt like saying that I'm grateful to God. Me and my wife, we always feel that they have come to our life, and they are very committed and dedicated, and they are not, and by the grace of God, their expression is different. Amaan has his own approach of music. By listening to him, you can make out it's Amaan playing. Ayaan has a different expression, absolutely. And they are also, you know, many times people are inviting them for modeling or for the film. They are capable of doing so many things.
Sure.
And but the most important thing is that they are responsible. I have seen before any commitment, any concert, they are practicing in 2 different rooms. So this is the day children, young people, they become responsible. The parents, we feel very grateful to God for.
Sir, but the interesting part is Amaan and Ayaan belong to the digital generation, where, you know, the advent of technology with fiber optics, digital compression, satellite communications, the world is getting smaller. As they are growing up, their generation is being influenced by MTV from the United States, for that matter. So in the music scene, there's been a tremendous amount of overlap of music from different parts of the world. Indian music has also been very well noticed elsewhere. Ambassadors of music such as Ayaan and Amaan can also become great role models for the youth in that country and from around the world. And the interesting part is that they have done some very nice music videos, very tastefully done.
Thank you.
And the classic part about these music videos is that they have maintained your classical roots in that music. In other words, they are augmented ragas, but still with, you know, modernization, with drum beats to it. Rather than my describing, I would rather have them describe that music to me. So tell me about those experiments that you did.
Apart from doing classical since we were very young, my father also had introduced us to a lot of film music, a lot of light music. There came a phase where a lot of people of our generation were doing a lot of doing a different type of work. And our friends kept asking us that why are Ayaan bhai and I am not doing anything? Why are we not doing it? It was very difficult to explain them why we were not doing it, because I do believe that, you know, the main concept when we play in classical music and when we stick to the genre is jack of all trade, master of none. So that should never happen. That's a concern. So we started, we started working with some other musician friends of ours. We started getting lounge. We got into the lounge space. Today we've done a lot of albums, and on the lounge space market, we have given music for a lot of hotels. Like a lot of hotels have got in touch with us.
Fabulous.
We've given music. They tell us to compose music for their hotel. And so yeah, it's everything is by God's grace looking very good. We've done Sufi albums, we've done fashion show albums, but the main core is Indian classical music, and I don't want to go away from there.
Correct.
Because, you know, no matter any Western classical musician, no matter how much they experiment, but they are known for their main. A cellist is known to be a classical cellist, a violinist, a viola, or a pianist. So the main concept is Indian classical music. On top of that, these are all musical flirtations.
Fantastic.
I think we were very careful about or very clear about where we are coming from and where we wanted to go. So like my brother was saying that whatever we did was mainly to reach out to a newer audience. Of course, the ratio was always 9 classical shows to maybe 2 experimental concerts. But that was something we were very happy about. And whatever we did was more in the recording space, be it we did thematic albums for Sarod, we did recordings even for, the ramp, for some of our designer friends wanted music for fashion weeks and this and that. So we did that. Then a lot of collaborations. We're going to be performing in Symphony Space in a few days with a fabulous violinist, Almira Dervarova. So that, and then, I mean, my father's concerto, we've been very fortunate to have played alongside him and also with other orchestras. So the idea is to reach out. We would want Sarod to be realized and celebrated more and more by this generation.
Sarod is no longer what it was 30 years ago. Sarod has now become world famous because of your father. There's no doubt about that. But tell me about the concertos, you know,
Yes.
that you have done, that you have composed, involving some of the finest philharmonic orchestras
Yes.
from around the world.
Yes.
You mentioned about the presence of classical music in Europe.
Yes.
You've amalgamated a lot of these big national orchestras together with your compositions. So tell us about those.
You see, as you know that our tradition is called oral tradition.
Right.
We don't write music, we don't read music.
You extemporize.
Extempore, and suddenly, you know, my father used to sing.
Right.
And I had to follow on the Sarod.
Right.
So that is the way I have been teaching them, and this is the way they must be able to express orally first. Like a composition, a Kedara composition. Da 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 So these things,
Wow,
these
beautiful,
are all
beautiful.
oral tradition, and we don't write, we don't read. But while working with the orchestra, you know, all my thoughts are documented. They write everything. Everything is written. So it's a very good towards documentation. Any orchestra I'm composing or writing, so all my compositions are preserved. So that's a very, and it's a, because music has connected the world.
Wonderful.
There is basically two types of music. One is pure sound. In Hindi we say Swar hi Ishwar hai.
Uh-huh.
The sound, the way we are singing without any language, without any lyrics. Da ra 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 na ri ra na. So this is pure sound, and sound has connected the whole world. All the musicians of the world, we are like one family. Other kind of music is based on language, lyrics, text.
Right.
We call them song.
Right.
And if you have a lyrics like oh my darling, where are you? I'm missing you. So this kind of song becomes very popular because of the language. So language creates barriers also. But thank God, we live in the world of sound.
Right.
And sound of symphony, sound of sarod, sound of guitar, violin, cello. So there's nothing to understand in sound.
Right.
You just experience the sound, you feel, you realize. If there are words, then you need to understand.
You know, you've been compared to Stradivarius, to be honest with you. Your Sarod is the Stradivarius, you know, of India. The gamags that you do on your Sarod,
Yeah.
even if you do a concerto, suppose in a setting where somebody, a world's greatest pianist is playing with you,
Yes, sir.
he cannot do the gamag on the piano.
Yes, yes.
Because of the semi-quarter tones and others,
Yes,
it's very
yes,
difficult
yes,
to do.
yes.
Tell me about the uniqueness of this in the Indian music with respect to your use of gamaks in both your singing as well as on the sarod.
You see, this is a very typical character of our music. Generally, people talk about improvisation. That Indian music is improvise. You improvise, but that's nothing great. Even a child can improvise. Any person can improvise. Jazz musician, they are also improvising, but the concept is different of jazz musicians. But while composing for the orchestra, I don't impose my character on them. I create something which will be easy for them to play, which will sound nice. But in our way of life, our way of singing and playing, what you are talking about, gamaka, ri re ta na re na ri re re na ta re ta de ri, and this mean and slides da re re na re. So these slides and glides, they are the most important feature of our music.
That's wonderful. Sir, you had an incredible reception, one of its kind in the world. The highest honor, the Nobel Peace Prize, when it was awarded in Oslo in Norway. You were present there and you performed there.
We were, yes, we were invited to perform there, and Mr. Satyarthi, Kailash Satyarthi was receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, and Malala. It was a great experience for all of us, though we were given only 5 minutes to perform.
But millions of people around the world watched you and they got a chance to see what Indian music was about.
Yes.
So please tell us a bit more about that.
So, Ayaan, what would you like to say?
No, it was a very, very unique experience to start with. I mean, to just be present at the awards ceremony and to meet both the laureates, Malala Yousafzai and Mr. Kailash Satyarthi. It was such a proud moment to have an Indian there. I think an Indian was given this honor after almost more than 30 years. So we performed, thanks to my father, my brother and I were there as well. We performed at the awards ceremony, and then in the next day, there was the Nobel Peace Prize concert, which happened in this massive arena. And, so there was Steven Tyler there was Queen Latifah, there was there was Nuno Betancourt there as well. So, backstage there was all this amazing magic happening amongst musicians, interactions. I mean, Steven Tyler and my father singing together, and he wanted to see the Sarod. So, all that was happening. And, all these, end of the day when artists do get together, there's a lot of the 12 notes of music kind of just bind you together.
That's fascinating.
So it was amazing energy backstage as well. So.
And I was admired seeing the preparation of this Nobel Peace Prize function. I mean, whole year they are planning, and the energy behind that ceremony, and they took us and showed us that library, the place where they sit and decide. And there are photographs of all the Nobel Peace Prize Nobel laureates.
You mentioned about Steven Tyler, singing with your father.
Yes.
Your father has got combination right from Bismillah Khan, that joint performance.
Yes,
if you
yes.
take from those days to Steven Tyler today, different genres, different generations of artists who have wanted to perform with your father because they would consider it an honor to perform with your father.
Right.
Now, if that is the case, tell me about the interest that's being shown now by Western, personalities and prominent performing artists who want to jointly work with you to collaborate with you.
Yes.
Tell us about some of those works that you've all done.
There are many musicians. That singer lady, we made an album.
Yes, we've done some. I think what happens is that, of course, my father, he was, of course, very open to doing collaborations. But I think, today, I think Abba, from his being an artist of the stature that he is, I think he's someone who's extremely open-minded to collaborations, and that kind of makes it really easy for us to also reach out and do things. He's been very gracious to just get in. He would be very open to, doing all kinds of projects. So we recently recorded an album a few years ago called Everything Is Everywhere. It was with this American folk singer from Bloomington, Carrie Newcomer.
Carrie Newcomer.
Yes.
So, so that
Beautiful
album,
voice she has.
so that album kind of was a crossroad.
She was very keen that all three of us should play for her. So in certain songs, Amaan is playing with her, and certain songs I am playing.
So it was a nice crossroad between songwriting and...
There's rhythm to the rains, they come and go.
And then there was another concert, another concerto called Ananta Opus, which we performed with the Avignon Symphony Orchestra, which was also a brilliant orchestra from the south of France.
Wow.
So, and that orchestra had some electronic element in that. So lot of things are happening, a lot of interesting things happening. But I think the comfort level is, like my brother said, the source, which is these 12 notes of music, and we are completely at home when we have a classical concert of Indian classical music happening. Well, that's who we are, and the other things, of course, are just kind of I think musical. Kind of, I won't say flirtations, but musical chapters that come in the way of your journey. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Fabulous. From your perspective, from that childhood days of deep roots that you had in this particular music, how has classical music training on the Sarod helped you understand international music, the other part of the music when people want to collaborate with you?
See, I don't think it's only classical music that makes you understand other forms of music. It's basically also your attitude that makes you understand other form of music. What my father has taught us, and what I also notice myself when I try to do it, that arrogance is a killer. That my music is very good, my art form is the best, which a lot of musicians unfortunately suffer with. If it's North Indian, South Indian, or Western musicians, though more of Western musicians, I see that they are more open to listening to other musical forms and all that stuff. So I think it's the attitude which is very important, to be submissive, not be arrogant, be humble. And because they say when you speak, you repeat yourself. When you listen, you learn more.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
So, in that...
I learned something today.
No. So in
That's great.
In that context, it's always nice to believe that everyone else is far more superior than you as musicians. And that itself, I mean, at least that works for me. It gives me the energy to work harder. And I like to be insecure about the type of music I play, because I'm never satisfied. I'm very restless about it, which is a good thing, I guess, because the day you get satisfied with what you produce or you have, I think then there's nothing else to.
You're exceptional sons, because you did a fabulous job in terms of dedicating. You wrote a book on your
father.
That
was the first book. Yeah, that was the first book. Yes.
Which year was that?
Well, that was 2002, and the publishing house contacted us.
Roli Books.
Roli Books.
R-O-L-I.
And they said, we're starting this Family Pride series, and we want yours to be the first book in the series. So I don't think both of us even thought that we'll become authors so early in life, but it shaped up well, because apart from the music, I mean, everyone knew my father as a musician, but being sons, we had to also tap into some chapters of his life which were private, which not many people knew about. But I think that all shaped up well. Both my father and my mother, I think they really encouraged us. And we also started getting an author's discount very early in the day.
You have a tremendous presence around the world now in terms of your participation at university level.
I'm enjoying residencies in different universities and colleges.
And most prestigious universities around the world.
Last time I was with
Stanford, California.
California. Oh, wow, okay.
So, the basic thing, music, every musician has a different vision of music. What is music? When I'm doing residency, I'm not teaching Sarod. I'm teaching music in general. What is music? And I always remember Saint Tyagaraja.
Yes.
I was the first North Indian to pay my homage at Tyagaraja Samadhi.
My God.
Because I was very keen to go and perform, and there was a rule that I had to only play his composition.
Wow.
So one of his composition I learned, Rag Shri Ranjini, Soga Suga Mridanga Talamu.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful composition.
Tyagaraja Kriti, you know.
Yes, Kriti.
Right.
And in that composition, Tyagaraja is praying to Lord Rama
Right.
that is it possible in his lifetime if he could understand the meaning of 7 notes, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni. So that is the vision, that is the approach of life of a musician. So the whole life is we have given to God and to music, and we want the whole world to experience the sound of Sarod, and we want the world to be in peace, because today I feel very sad to see violence all over the world. I mean, 21st century should have been the most peaceful and harmonious century.
Absolutely.
But today, I think it has become a worse century, because on the name of religion, in spite of so much education, people are still killing, on account of religion. So this really makes us feel very sad. And my wife Subbalakshmi and our family, we feel connected with every soul. And I think music is the only, I think it's a precious gift of God, like flowers, air, water, fire, fragrance, colors.
Wow.
They don't belong to any religion.
Right.
But every religion needs flowers. So I hope, I mean, the world should understand and realize the value of peace and harmony. I mean, collectively we have to create a world of peace and harmony for our children, because the way the things are going, with all due respect to education, education could not create compassion and kindness in a human being.
Wow.
It's very sad. So I think there is something wrong in our education system. Every child should be, they should know, they should realize the value of love, compassion and kindness. So through music, we want to connect the world.
Wonderful.
This is our mission of life. And I would like to do residency in Canada sometime.
Wonderful, wonderful. I
On
think
an
people will be
appropriate
very
occasion.
fortunate here.
Yes.
You know.
I mean, next June I am doing in Dartington College in England. And but I would love to come to Canada on a nice weather, nice.
I'm going to follow up on that university thing with you.
Yes.
For
yes.
Canada as well.
Yes, Canada.
And so we'll discuss that
Yes.
later as well. There's some, I'm sure Canada would be very fortunate if you come down and, you know.
Because I suddenly realized I haven't spent much time in Canada. It's more in New York or Washington or California.
But I think you first came about in 71 here?
Yeah, 70, I came
Or
to
late
perform.
60s, 63 as well, yes.
Yeah, 71. 63 was my first foreign tour to America as a young boy. And as you were showing a photograph with Jawaharlal Nehru, my father received Padma Vibhushan in 1960.
My God.
So he took me along to Rashtrapati Bhavan. And there, for the first time, I saw all these great people, Rajendra Prasad, Nehru Sahab, and Radhakrishnan, Krishna Menon, and all those people.
Right.
And Nehru Sahab, Jawaharlal Nehru had a tremendous sense of humor. So he came up to my father, and my father introduced me to him. I have that photograph shaking hand with Nehru. And he asked my father, I hope you are not hiding any Guru Mantra from him. My father said, no, I'm trying to teach him everything. And that old story about my father, you know, the Rajendra Prasad, the president, asked my father, I hope you are comfortable, Khan Sahab, what can I do for you? He says, I'm fine, but please save the purity of Rag Darbari.
Oh, wow.
As a young boy, I was feeling embarrassed what my father is saying. But because we needed everything, we were living in a rented place, we didn't have the car. We went in a taxi to receive this Padma Vibhushan. And my father is talking about Rag Darbari. Because President said, I'm sorry, I didn't understand Khan Sahab. Then again my father repeated, this raga was created by Tansen and people are taking liberty in this rag. You being the president, it is your duty to preserve the purity of the rag. And my father was so innocent, he thought he's going to pass a resolution in the parliament next day that everybody should sing Darwari like this. Then again Rajendra Prasad ji said, okay, I'll do that. What can I do for you? So my father said, it's time for my prayers. Namaz ka waqt ho gaya hai. So he didn't know about protocol that you can't leave before the president. My father started walking, and nobody stopped him. I was walking behind him, and like an innocent child, he came home and told my mother that the president Rajendra Prasad has promised me that purity of Darbari would be preserved. They were so innocent people, absolutely focused and committed and dedicated to purity of rag.
That's fantastic.
But I'm so happy to see your ATN, your channel, what you are doing. You are doing a great service to the people in Canada and all over the world. And your collection, your archive, and your approach to art and culture is amazing. I think Canada is very fortunate to have you here.
Sir, coming from you, I take that as a true compliment.
Yes.
We are humbled by your presence here. We are very honored by your presence here.
Thank you so much.
You both grew up almost in Gurukulam atmosphere, even though it was your father.
Yes.
It's amazing. Tell me
Actually,
about...
we are like friends now.
Which is wonderful. But tell us about the youth in India today. Do they have the same opportunity of the same kind of a Gurukulam atmosphere in India? Is that still happening in India?
In fact, I think they have more opportunities today. That's why they don't believe in the Gurukul system. A lot of youngsters. Back then, there were no opportunities. It's gone the other way around. Now you have YouTube. Now people, without having a guru, believe in becoming musicians. And what I've seen, people younger to me also, no one is trying to be a good musician. Everyone is trying to be a star. There's a problem there.
They're not chasing excellence. I think they want an instant coffee.
So my
culture,
my whole roundup, I say this to myself and say it to people, and I say it with all honesty. My main mission is not to be a popular Sarod player, but heart of heart, want to be a very respected Sarod player, a musician that musicians talk about, behind your back.
Wow.
Great musician can only be produced under a great musician.
It's wonderful. Absolutely. Sir, before I finish, I just need one request from you.
Yes.
I want three of you to do a tarana together.
Yes. This tarana, you see, tarana is a style of singing which was created by Hazrat Amir Khusro in 13th century. Because most of the songs have language, but he created a language of syllables.
Right.
Tana tom tadare dani. Sa pa sa pa sa pa tadare dani. Tadare dani tadani dim tana tanum tadare dani tadani dim tana tanum tadare dani dim tana tanum tanum tananum tadere na tadere na tadere na tadere na tadere na tadare dani dim tana tanum din din tada din tana na 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 dim tana na 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 tana na 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 dim tana na 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 tana nom tana nom tadare dani dakidaka dum kidaka dikta kidaka kranda tadare dani dim tana tanum tadare dani dim tana tanum tadare dani dim.
Fantastic, fantastic. God bless you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Studios.
Thank you so much.